deputies of Samopomich party. Samopomich party members of Kyivrada were the first who were subjected to this procedure, and now we will speak to Serhiy Gusovsky, head of Samopomich party, Natalia Shulga, Kyivrada deputy from Samopomich party, Andriy Logvin, Kyivrada deputy, and you, Vitaliy Shapovalov, polygraph examiner. So you're welcome.
Can we start? Good afternoon. My name is Serhiy Gusovsky. I'm chair of the Samopomich faction in Kyiv City Council. I would like to report to the public at large that in accordance with our promises, pre-election promises, according to our program, we in September we passed the examination, let's say verification, using the polygraph. This polygraph examination was in full compliance with the law on anti-corruption actions, and specifically this verification examination included such questions as the abuse of office, corruptive actions, the let's say dishonest information regarding the criminal responsibility, etc. So I would like to emphasize that those references to somebody actually was subject to some examination. We saw that before the May elections, and the big words were there. I passed this examination, etc., etc. The matter is not that somebody passed this examination, or this is a specific campaign, company, which took care of this kind of examination. Ukrainian Bureau of Psychophysiological Research and let's say studies, and we're really happy that Mr. Shapovalov has joined us, and he can give us more details regarding the technical aspects of this kind of examination, and we'll be able to tell you what specific questions were asked. The main message here is openness. So we promised something, we did that. We kept our word, and we are prepared to answer any questions, and we are open to any real inconvenient questions, whatever we did and what we are going to do next. Let's say we're going to move next. Good afternoon. I would like to tell about some of the aspects, what the kind of examination we used, what kind of methodology we used for that polygraphic examination. It was based in the Ukrainian Bureau of Psychophysiological Safety in Artema 40th Street. For this examination, we used the Occitan polygraph made in the United States, and the basic set of sensors, two sensors of breath, upper and lower breath. This is kind of a cutaneous and galvanic reaction response to measuring arterial pressure. We use special ways in the movement, or let's say the movement sensor. In order to get the answers to the test, we use the methods of the control verification questions in fair G2PT approach. The length of such kind of examination takes usually 2.5 hours. Time spent before testing, it was a must for the pre-test interview, in the course of which we collect information about the biographical data. We use special kind of interview which enables us, based on the analysis of the non-verbal manifestations or the content of the speech, we can assess whether the honest or dishonest question answer are provided. We actually we videotaped this procedure. This is a technical video taping, which actually allows us to confirm that this testing took place in specific person who participated in this examination. Also, it allows us to assess the methodology used and to which extent we complied with all the requirements and the technical means or equipment. Regarding the questions, I'm not going to speak in detail about those, but anyway, those questions which were put to those who were subjected to this examination regarding their abuse of office, we did not have some stress-like responses which would indicate their involvement in such kind of actions, I mean, abuse of office.
Sure.
It's very important that we are ready to take such tests on a regular basis. Though we are elected and we continue our professional activity, we don't change the style of our life, professional life. That's very important, a very important factor. You can take a test one time and then you will not pass it again. We're ready to do this not less than once a year during our term. We confirm that. We didn't have anyone who refused that. It means that the spirit of the team was supported. And in our work, we believe in this ideology of honesty, dedication, commitment, and justice. That's why in our work, in the Kyiv Council and in our work, we continue using the same approach. We see an abuse and corruption anywhere in our administration or among the deputies, we will not be silent. We'll try to make it public and we'll demand responsibility for that. In my field, education and science, unfortunately there are first criminal cases. You'll be surprised that on the level of academicians in the Academy of Science and on the level of rectors, professors, unfortunately, that field, which should be an indicator of justice and honesty, unfortunately, it is also was infected with this disease, and I promise that I will continue working to clean management and education from corruption schemes. I would like to add a bit of history of this issue. This idea came to our mind when we had a campaign to the city council, and now we hold meetings with our voters, and there is a big problem with trust, and everybody feels that. With trust to the authorities. If you've never been to power, and we've never been to, even if you want to do something good and nice, there is a problem that people don't trust, and all instruments for better openness and in order to get credibility from our people, we are ready to use all instruments. Polygraph, it's an accepted instrument international. This is my first experience. And even if circumstances of this procedure is not urgent, but the procedure by itself, if you have nothing to hide in your cupboard, the procedure has such a component is fun. My wife suggested to include some other questions. I think we'll include that into the next research. I think it's a very good step, and I suggest to my colleagues to use this instrument to build back trust and credibility of people to the authorities. Thank you. To conclude, I wanted to say that today we don't know whether this law will be signed, but there was a vote in the parliament on anti-corruption bureau. And it's strange that they took away the paragraph that members of anti-corruption bureau should take the test on polygraph. In our case, that slogan that take and do, you promised you do it. This is a part of our life. So despite the fact whether we have it in our law or not, whether other deputies support it as a challenge for them or ignore that. We will do what we do. We'll move on to build honest country with justice. Thank you very much. We have some questions. An issue of the Ministry of Defense and General Staff. Is it possible to use this instrument there? How can you influence on that? Such efforts become practical. My colleagues are in ATO area. They hold these tests. As to generals, it's quite a complicated and serious question now, and how only their personal wish to take part in the test on a polygraph can bring to this, can make it real. Testing on a polygraph before there is sign that they voluntarily agree with that. It's impossible to do it without that agreement. One more question. In my life, some people passed the test. One of them from SBU, and one more person. When she was there 20, nobody noticed, and SBU told me. And they told me that I did something I refused. So you can lie to this detector. Yes. The point is, it's impossible to lie to the polygraph. You can lie to a polygraphologist and how he develops a test. And that's a key point. How did you prepare this study? Is the experience, and how did you develop questions? The main questions were built on the base of the law on corruption, and we used special methods to build. We don't show all the questions. There were more questions, and there are some methods, and we use American experience, and we contact our colleagues, and we're trained on a regular basis. And on the basis of that, we tested, we prepared this test. Is there Yes, you can lie to anyone except to yourself and to God. But there were 5 of us, and there was not 1 or 2 questions, and there were a lot of questions, and I can give you a list and of these questions and detailed results of that research. And for all questions on corruption, what I reported to you, information about education, about criminal responsibility, to all these questions, all 5 members of our faction, they gave honest answers. Have you ever demanded or got a bribe for you not to do something you have to do according to the past? Have you helped someone to get a position? Have you helped physical to physical legal entity to get illegal subsidies or benefits? Have you provided assistance to legal entities or physical entities to get decisions they want? A lot of questions. You can train anything you want, but anyways, 5 deputies, a lot of questions, and nobody lied.
Just a very short additional comment. Now about methodological aspect, I'm secretary to the Collegium of Polygraphists, Polygraphologists in Ukraine, and we have a considerable group of highly qualified experts. When we developed the methodology of this research, and we worked hard on the methodology and the content of questions and how they should be asked. And now question to Mr. Gusovsky, whether this is broadly used in international practice before making appointments to some positions. We did not keep in mind whether it was officially required or whether this is international practice. This was our individual decision that we should demonstrate openness. We should stick with our commitments made before election to Verkhovna Rada, and we believed that we should stop some corruption affairs. I had a separate fighting with Kyiv's Buddha, who wanted to be allocated a huge amount of money under unserious pretext, and we would like to demonstrate both physically that we do not lie and to demonstrate the facts which prove that we do not lie. Actually, this is the history which we are writing together with the entire society. If there are no further questions, thank you very much. And would like to remind you, we had members of parliament from Samopomich, members of Kyivrada from Samopomich party. Our working day is over. Thank you.